Good, good.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Alhamdulillah. I'm sad actually.
ليه؟
This is the first time in we started doing this about 3-4 months ago. وين مش مبين اليوم. This is
sun let you down, huh?
Florida. We're talking about the sun. The first time we're doing a show and there's no sunshine outside.
Maybe sing for it. It'll come.
What's that?
No, don't sing. I was joking. I was joking.
So today's topic, real estate news and insights. But before we get to that, we had a very special evening last night. So
We
we're
sure
still
did.
a little drowsy from yesterday. But you want to share some of that with us, Nofila?
You know what? Speaking of drowsy, before we get to it, I'm going to tell you, I'm actually drinking coffee, yeah. And I don't drink coffee. At the end of the evening, one of the people in charge of the venue said to me, I have never seen people get so hyped up and have so much fun at a dry party. Because we don't drink, right? And he said, I was wondering how you guys are going to have fun, but you all are wild.
We had a lot of drinks there.
Yeah.
Amira was there.
Mocktails.
Nourish.
We had ginger ale.
Nourish.
Yeah, Nourish.
We talk about that first before we talk about
let's talk about then we have to say why we're mentioning these vendors. So last night was Nadine and Ali's engagement.
Congratulations, Ali and Nadine.
Yes.
Nadine and Ali. They looked amazing.
And so we had the party on Woodward at the Garden Theater.
Yes.
At first I was a little, squeamish. Why out of Dearborn? Because, we're Dearborn people. But I can tell you the venue was incredible. The service was incredible. From the moment we booked the space until the very last one of us left last night, they were amazing. I would highly, highly recommend the Garden Theater.
You're looking at keep talking about the Garden Theater.
I love the Garden Theater right now.
Listening.
I know she is. Yeah, we're going to talk
Nadine.
about Nadine. But I wanted to thank some of the people that were there because a party like this doesn't come together without, people. Of course, VIP Entertainment, Haidar Bazzi, again, above and beyond work with the chairs and the linens and everything. They set up the whole room for us. It was beautiful. Biblos Banquets, you cannot have a banquet without Biblos food. Dearborn Sweets made our cake and all of our sweets fresh. When I picked them up, they were still warm. The Shaibiyat, they were still warm. And we had our friend from high school, and she DJ'd last night, and she was wonderful. Our photographer was Frodette Film. She was also amazing. And our beverage young lady, Nourish Detroit, Amira.
Big fan now.
Huge fan.
She
Amira did an
job.
incredible job yesterday.
That was her first event. She disclosed that to me.
Did she
That was her
really?
First event. She did
I wouldn't be
amazing.
able to tell.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. She did great. So thank you to all of the vendors. We would like to congratulate Nadine and my new son-in-law.
You have a son now?
Son. I have a son now. We're very, very excited and can't wait for your wedding, and we love you very, very much.
That's it. That's all you can say about Nadine.
Go ahead. I was leaving a little bit for you.
You look beautiful.
She did look beautiful. She looked glorious.
And to be honest with you, your mother was trying to underplay it, I guess. When I heard that we're doing this downtown, I was not happy. But when I walked into that place yesterday, all your hard work paid off, young lady.
Yes, very, very
it was
creative.
Beautiful. And I had a great time.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
Jiddo broke my heart yesterday.
He did.
He was looking forward to singing that song for you, Nadine. I know you're getting teary-eyed right now, just remembering how we started crying. So, yeah. Anyways, okay.
And we'll post pictures and
We'll
videos
post
later.
pictures
You'll
later on
see.
social media.
Yeah.
So congratulations
Yes.
to Ali and Nadine Hazimi.
Actually, I want to play a song for them right now. I know it's off schedule, but can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, especially for Nadine and you too, Ali.
كبرت ست الكل صار بدها تتجوز تتركني وتفل.
All right.
Welcome back to You Need to Know with Hussein and Nofila. So Nofila, why don't you? We're off the social media. People are seeing me, moving around and dancing. And listening to
yeah,
songs.
it was
Take a few seconds to
yeah.
explain that song.
So it's Kibrit al-Bannut by George Khabez, and my father sings it to Nadine and Naveen. As he watched them grow up, right?
Yes.
and it's a very emotional song for us, you know. And so last night, that was one of the songs that she danced to with her grandfather, and there was not a dry eye in the room. I'll post that video too.
You need to know with Hussein Nofila. If you have any questions for us or while we're on the air, reach us at CINA Radio 313-769-6666. Today during the show, if you need to get a hold of us, send a text message to 313-443-7443.
Yeah.
I left my phones at my office, so if there are any text messages or phone calls, I will get to them after the show. Speaking after the show, I did get a couple calls last week. I will answer those questions on the air today, but let's talk about a little bit of real estate. Nova Realty.
Okay.
Nova Realty Group. How's it going at Nova Realty Group?
Nova Realty Group is thriving. So, again, more celebration, right?
Yes.
Inshallah, we're always celebrating. November, this
Yes.
month, is our 1-year anniversary
Oh,
at
you
Nova
remember.
Realty. Of course I remembered. So it's been a good year, 12 months of excitement and a lot of changes. We've changed the decor of the office multiple times because we're just kind of feeling our way around to see what works for us. We had a moment, a few months where the office was full of furniture, and then next thing you know, we emptied it out, and then we did expand in this 1 year.
Yes.
And we are refurnishing and redecorating again.
Yes.
But hopefully this will be the last time. We're just trying to figure out what works for us. We're very social, so we are creating a social space at Nova Realty for people to come and hang out, and everybody's welcome. But it is our 1-year anniversary.
I am so looking forward to that.
Yes.
It reminds me to actually nickname that place to hang out.
Yeah.
We're going to pick a night and we're going to hang out. Come on by. I'll make you a cup of coffee, cup of tea.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. We'll just hang out. Be like an
Yes.
open house social hour at Nova Realty. More information to follow.
Yeah.
So, Nofila, looking at some real estate news here, in the average 30-year fixed rate loan is holding steady at 6.22% right now.
Sounds about right.
You know,
Yeah.
some people a little bit higher, some people a little bit lower, but that is helping tremendously because we're not supposed to be as busy as we are these days. I mean,
Yeah. Realtors
closings this
usually
week.
slow
I got a
down.
closing tomorrow morning, actually.
Yeah.
But that is helping. Last couple shows you mentioned about the leases,
Yeah.
how many there are,
Yeah, I'll mention that
what's
now.
happening. I know you will, but I kind of did a little bit of homework here.
Okay.
Right off the top, I'm going to share what NAR shared with us recently. Real estate professionals continue to play a central role in buying and selling homes. 88% of buyers purchase their home through an agent or broker this year.
Yeah.
It's a high number.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
It used to be a lot lower.
Yeah.
Not a lot lower, but lower. But when you're talking about almost 9 out of 10 buyers are knowing how important professional guiding through the process is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, right? And my favorite part of the whole transaction is after the buyer signs and they get the keys and they're all
Yes.
emotional and they just turn to you and say, "Thank you." I
You
experienced that
made
yesterday
this
with,
easy. Yeah.
the buyer, I'm not going to mention his name, but he said, "You know what? Thank you." And I guarantee you, anybody that mentions real estate in front of me, I will mention your name and Fila's name and Nova Realty. That meant the world to me. Yes, we got a check
course.
yesterday, but
Yeah.
it's not
That's
about
nice.
the check. It's about serving others.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's not just the buyers. Another piece of information here: FSBOs hit an all-time record low.
Yeah.
FSBOs is a term that we use in the real estate business. It's FSBO, for sale by owner. So even sellers are realizing, with everything that's going on and the way the industry is changing, I need to work with a professional.
Yes.
And God knows we have a lot of professionals. And I don't mean in a sarcastic way that there's a lot. There's a lot of good people in our industry.
Yeah,
good people,
I agree.
family people. They care about the community. The 91% of sellers use a real estate agent. 91%. Again, that's a little over 9 out of 10 sellers.
Yes.
Used to be, you know what? There would be like coaches, real estate consultants.
Yeah.
Would teach or sell you programs on working the for sale by owner sellers. Would
Okay.
drive around like right now to the audience. Like you used to drive around in your neighborhood, you used to always see signs say for sale by owner.
Right.
Now you're seeing, real estate agents signs. So that's telling me a lot. So that the fact that the buyers and sellers respect our experience, our knowledge of the market. I mean that's very important, right? When you walk in and confidently, I just recently walked in. 2 months ago, I told husband and wife sellers, I said, your house is going to sell for $455.
Yeah.
Sold for $454. I mean,
very close.
The fact that we're not. This is not a guessing game. We know the market.
Of course.
And
yes.
The fact that sellers and buyers appreciate that means the world to me. So I'm going to kind of explain a little bit to you the homework, the research I did, why there's so many leases right now.
Okay.
The housing market is becoming like the tale of two cities. Tale of two cities. What do I mean by that? You're either getting a buyer that's paying cash,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Or coming in with a strong down payment, 20, 25, 30%. I received an offer on one of my listings. The buyer had like 40% down payment.
Okay.
That's strength.
That is strength.
Right?
Yeah,
That is
of
strength.
course. Of course.
The bad part, if you know what I'm talking about, the tale of two cities, is that if somebody's looking to buy a house with a low down payment, they're having a hard time.
Yeah.
Like it's like an all-time low right now. Buyers are cash strapped, looking for an FHA loan or VA loan. It's just not there. I'll throw a stat at you, and this is from NAR,
Okay.
NAR's website here. FHA loans have fallen from 55% of the total mortgage loans in 2009. Maybe sounds like a long time ago, but
It wasn't
not.
that long ago, no.
It's down to 28% this year.
Wow.
And you can't say the government shut down. We're talking about loans that closed already.
Yeah.
So the government closed down just this past month, and they're still doing FHA loans. I don't know where that's going to go, but from 55%, half in 2009, the buyers took advantage of FHA loans. FHA loans is like a low down payment.
Yeah,
sometimes
minimum
it's
down.
zero. Minimum down to 28%. So from half to 1 out of 4
Sure.
we get FHA loans.
Yeah.
So what happens is that strength in the market with people with a lot of cash, right? Weaknesses where people coming in with low down payments, can't get that FHA loan, can't get all the programs that used to help out. Can't buy a house. That's what you have to do.
Rent.
You have to rent. So investors, what they say, cash is king.
Of course.
Investors buying these houses, having a field day. Now, with all due respect to all of our investors, we have landlords that we work with, and investors are buying. It's a business. So that's telling me our young people are in trouble.
It's very sad, but we've seen it already happening.
Yeah. So what do I mean? Our young people are in trouble. It's I have a full-time job. My future wife or my wife, my significant other, has got a job too, and we still can't afford a house.
It's happening.
It is happening.
Yeah.
It is happening, and people turn around and say, "Okay, I can't buy right now. I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. I can't buy." And I saw here the average age right now. Not the average age. young people aren't buying a house until like their early 40s.
Yeah.
They're pretty much losing out on, like if they would have bought a house, let's say at 28, by the time they get to 40, they pretty much lost out on over $150,000 of equity.
Equity,
in that
yeah.
house. Most people, hey, you have a little bit of investing money here, maybe buying a little stocks, whatever, but building wealth, the easiest way to build wealth is through real estate.
Of course.
Just throughout history.
Yes.
This is not just, phenomenon just the last 100 years, whatever, throughout history. It's owning real estate. So young people are starting a little late. So is that a good segue for you to go ahead and talk about leases?
It is. We haven't changed much. The leases have held steady in Dearborn and Dearborn Heights at 54 rentals in Dearborn and 53 rentals in Dearborn Heights. Nothing's changed since last week. There have been a few that were leased out and then others were put on the market, but we're holding steady. Other cities are not so great. Like Garden City, for example, only has a few. Livonia has under 20, but this seems to be the high numbers of rentals on the market are mostly in Dearborn Heights. In terms of sale listings, 136 in Dearborn and 102 in Dearborn Heights. That number has dropped a little bit. With seasons changing, people don't really want to move or sell their house and then have to look for a house during the holiday season. So that's pretty average. It's not too out of order.
Yeah.
But this is where we are with rentals.
Yeah, that's when I started out the show talking about, buyers and sellers are using professional, licensed realtors.
You know what I think happened there? In the past, when people would put a sign outside for sale by owner, they were only relying on the people driving by to see this house for sale.
Sure.
And they would pull over and squint to see the number and call the number, and then they would let them walk through the house. More recently, with the existence of all of the platforms, Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, all of these different platforms, sellers are facing the reality that this is an overwhelming thing to take on as a seller on their own. Now, when they were just dealing with drive-bys, they were also reducing the pool of buyers that their house was exposed to. And they were just kind of selling. And most of the time, they were leaving money on the table because they were just selling it to the people that were driving by. With all of the platforms, once a seller posts their house on the market, they're receiving tens of calls from people from all over. And they don't know these people. They aren't local. They're not from the neighborhood. They're from like 3 blocks over. They're not the people living down the street or across the street trying to buy this house. And they're finding that it is a scary process.
Yes.
With title, with closing, now they have to go and take care of City Hall on their own. Now they have to go and find a title company on their own and, navigate through the whole process by themselves. People underestimate what we do and the extent of the things that we do during the sale, before the sales process, during the sales process, and after closing. We have tasks that we complete after closing.
Sure.
And I think sellers are realizing that I'm okay paying that, fee to a realtor and just let them do it right so I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Sure. As you're talking, something crossed my mind. I did not read this in this report, but I'll research and see how true it is. Just the last decade, you heard the word fraud.
Fraud,
Mortgage fraud,
for sure.
Deed fraud, and that's probably, I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it too.
Yes.
Because, wherever you get your news, it's on there.
Oh, yeah.
Your bank accounts.
Of course.
I just recently experienced something where, somebody cashed a check, made up check with my account number. Obviously, it's not that difficult to get somebody's account number these days, but somebody got my account, created a check, cashed my check for it wasn't a small check. It was a few
No,
$1,000.
significant, yeah.
I called my bank and I'm like, I'm scared. I just $3,200 and $16 and some cents, whatever. It's like, what the heck? I called the bank and they're like, It's so easy. Like, oh, okay, Mr. Berry, I'm sorry for your inconvenience. We're going to credit you this amount and we'll figure out from there. I'm like, wow. So if it's happening to me, it's happening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when people hear about, mortgage fraud, and for a while you're hearing about deed fraud and everything. So,
You know what age group is the largest victim of deed fraud?
unfortunately, I think I do.
Our senior citizens.
Unfortunately,
And it's so easy because somebody will come to them spiffied up in a suit and say, hey, I'll sell your house. You have a lot of equity here, but they're not telling them the truth about that equity. They get them to sign over a power of attorney, and it's downhill from there. Once you sign over that power of attorney to whoever, they can do whatever they want with your house. And they usually word those power of attorneys correctly, so to protect the fraudulent person.
So if you have any questions, real estate related, or any questions for us, please call us at 313-769-66. We'll take your calls while we're on the air. And always, you can always reach us after hours or through text message during the show. Nofila's number is 313-443-7443. My number is 313-580-8007.
You can also ask questions on our feed on Facebook too.
Yes.
Yeah, we are live on Facebook.
That's right. I did get a question after the show last week. An investor who says, I bought a couple of houses this year. Should I be worried? I'm like, where did the cash come from? So it was in the bank. He said, okay. Somebody told him, be careful buying property and paying cash.
Okay, why?
Well, that's the question I asked. Why should you be worried? If you're working hard and saving your money, or if you have a business and you're transferring funds from your business to your personal account, bringing a cashier's check or wiring your money, right, from a banking institution to a title company to close, why would you be worried? But then I knew what his friend was telling him.
What?
Somebody they know they probably got in trouble, right?
Okay.
There are people that, and you know what, I have me back up a little bit here. Culturally, most ethnicities, I'm not going to say Middle Eastern, most ethnicities like to leave a lot of cash in the house.
Yeah.
So, I know people that might have, 20, 30, 40, $50,000.
It's a security blanket. Yeah, people do that.
Cash, we know what happened throughout history, right? When the market crashed, what happened in, Germany a long time ago, what happened in Lebanon not too long ago, whatever. I know people right now, they got money in the bank in Lebanon, and they can withdraw $200 a month, the maximum.
Yeah, that's sad.
So, well, like I said, it's not just Middle Eastern people, most ethnicities. So if this is where you got to be careful. So now I was doing my research. So I did answer my friend's question, but I went back and did a little bit of research and called him back and said, look, starting March 1st,
your birthday.
Hey, but starting March 1st in 2026, the Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network will enforce a new rule, which requires reporting on certain non-financed, quote-unquote, cash residential property transfer. Why would the Treasury Financial Crime Enforcement Network be concerned with that? This rule is designed to prevent money laundering.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have $50,000, earned money that you pay taxes on, the whole 9 yards. Maybe it was a direct deposit into your bank account and you withdrew a couple $1,000 here, a couple $1,000 there. Like Nofila said earlier, just for security reasons. It's probably a bad idea to get that $50,000 out of your safe and go buy a property with it.
Okay.
You probably need to talk with your accountant, talk with a lawyer, figure out a way, because starting March 1st, this will take an effect. So I think what my friend's friend was referring to, maybe he read this someplace in the newspaper, New York Times or whatever, and was trying to give him a heads up. So that's that. So I did do a did a good job explaining to my friend that you got nothing to worry about the way you're buying, but I promised him that I was going to talk about it too. Do we have a question online? Or?
We are, yeah, I'm looking into it right
Okay.
now.
Okay. The other, you got it? You want to take it, or you
Give me a
going?
second on
Okay,
it. Yeah, I
take
have
your
another.
time.
I'm sorting through the questions, so give me just 1 second.
So you always hear the term FOIA. FOIA stands for the Freedom of Information Act. FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. Freedom of Information Act is a written request submitted to a governmental agency to access public records that are not readily available online. And it's a process. If it's with the city, if it's with the school district, if it's with the state or the federal government, the processes are very similar, but you need to follow that process.
Yeah.
How to file a request, what to expect after you file, the time period that that governmental agency has to respond. So what am I referring to? Let's say a school system spent some money on a project. In reality, they're supposed to have that budget online.
Right.
Let's say you can't find it or it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
You can always file a FOIA request asking for that information. And as soon as you file your written request, now it's got to be a written request. You can't just call it in, or you can't just go to a meeting and say, I want to know about this. It has to be a process that you have to follow. And once you do that, it'll trigger like a certain amount of days where that agency or the institution has to give you an answer. There might be some cost involved.
Of course.
If it's something simple where they can push a few buttons and get it over to you, they might say, okay, we have the information for you within 10 days and we're going to go ahead and waive the cost. But sometimes that institution does not want to give you that information.
Right.
They're going to play games.
It becomes 6 months and it's going to cost you
$14,000. It can't be 6 months. That's against the law.
Yeah.
But, there might be some costs. And sometimes, the cost is very valid.
Yeah.
If you got to take an employee, have them spend X amount of hours on collecting this information. Let's say it's not just a report that's sitting on somebody's desk, whatever. They have to go find the information, go through emails, somebody's got to get paid for that. So you have to reimburse if it's the city, the district, or whomever, the county. You have to. But this is a law.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that elected officials or public institution that gets public funding, you have the right to ask them no questions.
Okay.
And if you need any more information on that, I'm not going to keep. Not too many people take advantage of this, but if you have any questions on this, go ahead and call me after the show, 313-580-8007.
Yeah, we do have a question on social media. The question was, what is the interest rate for conventional mortgages today? It's always a range, right? They're in the low sixes today, so maybe like 6.2, 6.3.
The average.
The average, yeah. And it depends. It's really always going to depend on your qualifications as a buyer. What does your credit report look like? What does your credit score look like? Now, this is on a 30-year mortgage. If you go into a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, you're looking, under 6, in the mid to high 5s. But again, you'd have to qualify for those rates. So this is what's out there right now. So if you really wanted to reach out to a banker and give them your income information, give them consent to pull your credit report, and then they'll be able to give you something there.
Sure. When I say that's the average, I closed the deal yesterday, and the
Yeah.
interest rate was 7.9.
Yeah.
And the buyer knew why it was 7.9.
Right.
Their credentials were not up to par where they can get the best rate.
So they were
couldn't go
a high risk buyer.
So the investor
it makes a difference. Yeah.
that's funding that loan looked at them and said they're high risk.
Right.
Well, we put a plan together. We're going to make 6 good payments.
Right.
They didn't pay any points up front. Now, people, if your loan officer tells you, and I want to say the majority of our loan officers will give you good advice. But if your loan officer is telling you, I'm going to refinance this loan for you within 6 months to 8 months, but also has got you paying points up front.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, points up front is interest up front. You do not want to pay interest up front if the plan is to refinance that loan.
Right.
And I'm definitely not the expert in that department, but I know that part because I've seen that happen. Somebody's got a high interest rate. Now, the loan I closed yesterday was a very, very clean loan. The buyer was like ecstatic that he was able to get a mortgage and buy a house and move on, with the understanding he's going to build equity into that house.
Yes.
And through appreciation of that house and making payments on a mortgage just tremendously helps your credit score. He'll probably within 6 to 8 months refinance it and drop his payment to $200.
And sometimes people have to do that. They want to be homeowners, and sometimes they have to take that high interest rate just to get into a house and get into a mortgage and situate themselves later on. But at least, from the moment you own a house, you're building equity in that house. Okay. So it's not a bad idea, even if your rate is going to be high, to just go ahead and buy and then refinance later.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Triggered a good discussion. Again, that number is 313-769-6666. And you're welcome to comment on our social media, on our Facebook page. We're going to take a quick break because I'm not letting this Michigan House Resolution 195 go away. I'm going to keep talking about it until everybody in our community knows about it. What they decide to do with it, it's up to them. But come back to You Need to Know with Hussein and Nofila.
Or is it Nadine and Ali today?
What's that?
Or is it with Nadine and Ali today?
That's okay. It's all about Nadine and Ali. All week long.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's their weekend.
So the theme for the rest of the show today is protecting our children. Mm-hmm. Protecting our future.
Let's hear it.
Protecting our children. Every once in a while, unfortunately, you hear about allegations of misconduct by either teachers or district employees towards our younger ones. The hotspot now is in Taylor. Again, these are all allegations, but what I'm looking at is a post by Fox 2 Detroit.
Okay.
Fox 2 News. Some allegations of improper conduct involving a veteran teacher and a senior Taylor Public Schools.
Okay.
This is under investigation, so not too much information out there.
Right.
But I've seen it, lived it. It does happen, people.
Sure.
So, yeah, we need to keep an eye on this stuff. We need to keep an eye. We need to support our young people, and we need to protect our young people. So when something like sex education being introduced under the health curriculum comes at us, I'm not talking about sex education, the difference between a boy and a girl, different diseases that are possible, when teenagers have sex or just don't have sex, that's sex education under the health curriculum. Well, what I think, my personal opinion, again, this has nothing to do with CINA Radio or anybody else on the station. My personal opinion is I think the State Board of Education is going a little too far right now. So what happened was that one of our legislators, Gina Johnson, she serves as a representative in the House. She introduced a resolution pretty much trying to call out the State Board of Education and say, hey, you can't bypass us. Come talk to us.
Right.
I mean, we're the ones that make the laws.
Sure.
You can't. Come talk to us. That's pretty much, because I talked to Gina a couple of weeks ago, and I was at this meeting that happened in Lansing. I talked to her. They're just mad that the Board of Education is trying to pass this in between outgoing superintendent Dr. Rice and incoming superintendent Dr. Maleko. Mm-hmm. They took a period, 60 days, 90 days. They're trying to push this. So, Gina, thank you. God bless you. Didn't know you a month ago, but now I'm a big supporter of yours. So, this Michigan House Resolution 0195 was put to a vote just a few days ago. And all it's asking, the summary of this HR 0195 is a resolution to oppose the proposed Michigan Health Education Standards Framework and urge the Michigan Department of Education to redraft or the Michigan State Board of Education to completely reject these standards. And if you listen to me, I don't have enough time to go into the standards, but I discussed this the last couple of weeks. This was put to a vote on the 4th.
Okay.
By the way, this is just a resolution. It's not a bill. It did pass the House. The resolution was approved by the House. Since this is a resolution, not a bill, it will not go to the Senate. The Senate will take it on and vote on it.
Right.
Eventually, if it passes, goes to the government, becomes law. This is just a resolution. It's just, hey, we're here. Come talk to us.
Yeah.
And this resolution was passed by 56 votes to 42 against. So the resolution got 56 in support, 42 against. And here's where I have a problem with this. We vote for our representatives, send them to Lansing, and when something this important, protecting our children, they sit on the side. 12 representatives did not vote one way or the other on this. Now you see some of these names. These are names. They're just, I've heard the term career politicians. Somebody's looking for the next step up, and they know this is going to be a very touchy subject. So they decide not to vote. I'm not going to call anybody out on the air, but I will call my representative and ask that person why they voted the way they did. And there's a couple other representatives here. I'm seeing their names. I'm going to ask them, why didn't you vote on this? So all I can say, without getting political here, all I can say is talk to your representatives. You live in Dearborn Heights, Lincoln Park, Allen Park, or Melvindale, wherever you live. Reach out to if you want to know how your representative voted, I have no problem telling you. And you're welcome to call me at 313-580-8007. Some of these names that I'm seeing here that did not vote or voted against the resolution, I know them personally. They will be getting a phone call from me sometime this weekend, just to give them an opportunity to explain.
Do you think that you're going to create enemies with this? How do you feel about that?
Nofila loves getting me in trouble. Now she's
I want to know. I want to know. People will be mad at you for bringing this out.
Think for like 25, 30 years, honestly, probably closer to 40 years I've been involved in this community. That's the last thing I think about.
Okay.
I don't think about that. We're talking about our first graders, people. We're talking about our middle schoolers. Now, high school, you're 17, sometimes you're 18, you're mature, something comes at you. Yeah. And please, I don't want anybody to tell me you can always opt your kids out.
Right.
Because you can.
Right.
You can opt your kids out pretty much out of anything. Don't tell me you can opt your kids out, because guess what? If I decide to opt, or better yet, if I decide to opt out my son or daughter, their friends are getting this information. Guess what kids do at lunchtime?
They share information.
They share information.
Yeah, opting out is not a good option. We do have a question on social media. Someone's asking if they can find out who voted in favor of the resolution. And we're not going to say it on the air, but you're welcome to call Hussein or myself.
People go online, HR 0195. How did my representative vote? I mean, I'm staring at it right now, and this was just a couple clicks on the website, and I got everybody's name. Color green, you voted yes. Color red, you voted no. Color white, hello.
5 minutes? Okay.
Get in the game.
Yeah. Go on the website, Legiscan, Legiscan, and search for HR 0195. You can even just Google that,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of information.
It'll show you everything.
And guess what, people? I will be holding community forums on this. This is that important to me / that important to us.
Absolutely.
Everybody I talk to have no clue. We were too busy fighting each other the last 90 days. Wards, no wards.
As a community, yeah.
This councilman, he was born in this country, this councilman, this and that. Yeah, I know sometimes politics is ugly, but who's paying attention? What's going on in Lansing?
Who's paying the price?
Are we just going to wait till this becomes part of the curriculum? Meaning, if it's part of the curriculum, your son or daughter has to be exposed to this in order for them to graduate.
Yes.
This is not just high school. This is middle school and elementary. When I'm reading this standards right here and it says K through 3, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What happens to parents' rights? Parents decide to have a baby. The mom carries that baby for 9 months. When that baby's born, she nurtures that child and sleepless nights and this and that. And you get to the age where 4 or 5 years old and we send them to a public school.
Yeah.
We're no longer in charge of those parents, those young ones. Parents' rights. And this all, like I said, this is all falls under protecting our children. Am I going to make enemies? Wear that with like I wear a badge of honor. If you're a state rep, and hopefully you're listening, and you can't explain to me why you voted the way you did, and if it's about where your money comes from, your financing comes from, or I got to be careful because I'm going to run for office, I don't want to give up my position on this, shame on you. You will be hearing from me, and obviously, we just got a question. You will be hearing from the people you're supposed to be representing.
Absolutely.
Do not vote what you think is right for you. When you represent 100,000 people, or in some positions 250,000 people, get a pulse of where the community is, your constituents. Where do they stand on this? Find out. That's serving the people. I'm getting an eye here. We got 2 more minutes.
Yes.
I can probably go on. Well, you know what? I am going to put it out there. I don't know the date, but I will put it on my social media. I will make the phone calls. I know the parents that want to know this information, and I will reach out to, I'm going to go ahead and say it, to some of our religious leaders. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish. Right. Where do you stand on this? When I was at that meeting, I met a gentleman that's in charge of all the churches. Lunch with him sometime next week. We're going to meet halfway and talk about this. So
okay.
There will be more information on this. Okay, let's try to bring the temperature down.
All right.
End on a happy note.
Let's end on a happy note.
Even though this thing breaks my heart.
I know. We are posting the link to the bill on our Facebook page under this live stream. So go ahead and click on that. Feel free to read. Feel free to call us. On a happy note, everybody have a great weekend. We are having a women's brunch tomorrow. We're going to have probably about 100 women in the room to have a beautiful discussion about, what are your concerns as women, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, sisters. So we're very excited for that. And we'll probably end up at, 5 or 6 more events this weekend, just kind of feeling the pulse of the community at large.
Sure.
Everybody enjoy your weekend.
Yep. Happy Friday, and enjoy your weekend, and thank you for tuning in to You Need to Know with Hussein Nofila.
And that last song is also for Ali and Nadine, Tak Tak Albi from Wa'al Kfouri.
Oh, so cute.